and you are here. So take a deep breath, relax, and settle in. Our theme for the year of 2026 is Open at the Top. And for the month of March, we are exploring What If? What if? The title of our talk today is Traveling in a World of My Creation. And we have a wonderful guest speaker today, Reverend Melinda. If you are familiar with us, if you join us on a regular basis, then you know that you are in for a treat. If you're new to us, then, we got something for you. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you before we officially kick things off? If you have any prayer concerns or celebrations, please be sure to drop those in the chat. And when we get to that portion of our service, Reverend Melinda will include those in our affirmative prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment. All right, that's all I have to get things started. Sit back, relax, and enjoy our welcoming video. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be a service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is. All right, before we go into our meditation with Reverend Melinda, let me introduce her. And let's see, Charlene, you usually give me a slide, but I think I've done this enough times I can do this. Reverend Melinda Jacobs is a hypnotherapist, and she specializes in working with people who have gone through trauma. That seems to be her area of specialty. And I also want to include that if you have anything that you would like to share with either Reverend Charlene or myself as a practitioner, or even I think Reverend Melinda might be open to this, we can do a chat room. We can do something after service where we do a spiritual mind treatment, just one-on-one with you, and something that we call 3-minute miracles. All right, let's see. How does that sound, Reverend Melinda? Does that sound good to you? All right, I turn it over to Reverend Melinda for our meditation.
Thank you, Tamara. Good morning, everybody. Well, let's just take some time to gently close our eyes. And if you need to leave yours open, finding a soft focus, that's perfectly fine. There's no wrong way. to settle into the sacred within. And just allowing everything that's transpired up until this moment to just gently fall to the side, like sand through an hourglass. Let every breath rise and fall with gentle ease. Nothing to force. Allowing yourself to land into this container. That holds within it wisdom, community, connection. A place that you can exhale. And as we allow ourselves to settle into this moment, bringing your attention deep within yourself, recognizing there is an inner spark that is that divine flame, that sacred flame within you. Known by so many names. Call it intuition, call it your higher self. Father, Mother, God, nature, the original cause, source. It lives within you and it is all around you. And just by bringing your attention within yourself, you're strengthening the connection. And just notice the willingness within you to allow this divine presence to share with you, to hold you, to carry you. Notice your willingness to listen to this inner presence. No need to make yourself right or wrong, good or bad. This is just a snapshot in time, and knowing that willingness can shift and change. And if you feel ready, I invite you to grant access to this divine presence, access to your heart, to your mind, as a conscious invitation, inviting love and spirit into your inner world, to hold you, to support you, to guide you. Maybe today is the day that you relinquish any remaining resistance and surrender to this divine presence within you, as if to say, yes, I'm ready. I'm ready for the miracles. I'm ready for the healing. I'm ready for all the gifts that you've been waiting to bestow upon me. I'm ready to remember that the essence of my being is that divine presence. And just finding gratitude in your heart, in your being, for whatever level that you're ready, whatever level of willingness. And gratitude for this beautiful presence that has always been here and forever always will be, because there is no separation. And so taking another long, deep breath in, exhaling, letting go of the meditation and just softly blinking your eyes open, coming back into the space.
I don't have to go nowhere to find peace. I don't have to go nowhere to find peace. I don't have to go nowhere to find peace, sweet peace. I got peace inside of me. I don't have to pay a cent to find joy, sweet joy. I don't have to pay a cent to find joy, sweet joy. Where is joy? I don't have to pay a cent to find joy, sweet joy. I got joy inside me. I got joy, sweet joy. You know I got. I don't have to change a thing to find love, sweet love. I don't have to change a thing to find love, sweet love. Where is I don't have to change a thing to find love, sweet love. I got love inside me. I got love, sweet love. You know I got joy inside. I got joy, sweet joy. You know I got peace inside. I got peace, sweet peace inside of me.
Oh, as if Leah could get any better. Now we have 4 of them. Thank you, Leah. That was so perfect. Good morning, beloveds. My name is Reverend Melinda Jacobs. Always my honor to be here with you today. So, our annual theme, open at the top. I love that. Like just this, right? And I know that with the times and the news and all the things, it's are you often in this kind of body stance like and yet when we're open, like the meditation that dropped in for us today, that is where miracles happen. That's where the gifts drop in, is when we're open to it. So our monthly theme, what if? And today we're talking about traveling in the world of my creation. I will spare you singing it, but I have Willy Wonka's voice in my head. So I want you to contemplate this question. What inner world are you creating? And how does it shape your life? How does it impact how you feel, how you think, how you relate in the world, how you reach out, how you contribute? What is it you're creating? Our reading today comes from Ernest Holmes' This Thing Called You. And honestly, if I had to pick just one of his books, it would be that. I think it was probably the most easily digestible. So I'm going to read this and I'll go slow because sometimes it just takes a moment for it to click. So Ernest says this: you, like all others, are seeking the joy of living. You wish to be needed, to be loved, to be included in the great drama of life. This urge is in every individual. It is in everything. The rose exists to express beauty. Root and branch conspire with nature to give birth to blossom. We are all some part of a universal order. I want you to just breathe that in. We are all some part of universal order. The very urge for personal gratification is incomplete until it finds a universal outlet. This is the cause back of all upheavals in human history. The pattern is trying to fit the pieces into greater and greater units as though it could not accomplish its purpose through anything other than a democracy of spirit and a union of all. This union, however, does not mean sameness. For while unity requires conformity to principles, unity requires conformity to principles. Unity never means uniformity. Every blade of grass, every crystal, every drop of water, like every individual, is a little different from any other one of its species. Hear these words. You belong to the universe in which you live. You are one with the creative genius back of this vast array of ceaseless motion, this original flow of life. You are as much a part of it as the sun, the earth, and the air. I want you to hear that again. You are as much a part of it as the sun, the earth, and the air. There is something in you telling you this, like a voice echoing from some mountaintop of inward vision, like a light whose origin no human has seen, like an impulse welling up from an invisible source. Your soul belongs to the universe. Your mind is an outlet through which the creative intelligence of the universe seeks fulfillment. Thank you, Ernest, for those beautiful words, for that incredible remembering. So from our science of mind point of view, what Ernest is saying is that you're already a spiritual being. And this embodies its essence. When the mind understands this, it embodies its essence. That which you are in the invisible will become more apparent in the visible. How you think, how you feel internally is what is being echoed and created outside of us. I was listening this week to, I know, AI generated, I know, some Neville Goddard. And I love Neville Goddard's cadence, and I love the way he speaks and the rhythm of his voice. And there's something about it that it's almost like a drum beat, just kind of driving these messages inward. And I heard it, I don't know that I've ever heard it this way before, or maybe it just landed in a different way, which is how oftentimes reading Ernest Holmes works as well. And Neville Goddard was saying this: outside of us is the echo, and we are the sound. An echo does not exist without something causing and creating a sound. That's how powerful we are, that this creative force that's living within us, that's dwelling within us, is inspiring within us to act a particular way. And we have free will. We get to choose. And every act and every action, every thought is planting seeds, and it's creating a sound through frequency and through vibration, and it's rippling out, and the echo is the world in which we live. Now, I know there's a lot going on in the world right now. And there's a lot of wanting to reject what we're seeing right now. We're in a powerful growth phase, I believe. And vaguely, it was a while ago, it was like several decades ago. It was a while ago that I was going through puberty. I remember that to be a very difficult time in my life. It was very uncomfortable and very painful. And I believe that collectively we are in a growth period, which is why it's painful. So I want to bring in this idea of, as we're traveling in the world of our creation, ways to get curious about what we're creating. And if looking out onto the world stage is too big, then bring your attention closer. Just bring it into your own personal life. Let's look at your own personal relationships, your finances, your health. Those are places where we can kind of bring that circle in, because if we look too far outside of ourselves, it can feel too much. So our first point is desire as divine impulse. Have you had like this little internal niggling that maybe you don't know why it's there, or like, oh, I've got this idea for a book. Oh, I've got this idea about how I can help a neighbor. Or, oh, have you ever had one of those? And it just kind of bubbled up. Now, desire as divine impulse, I'm not talking about I'm desiring sitting on the couch and watching Netflix for hours. I'm desiring to go eat a pint of ice cream. Like, no, that's not the kind of desire that we're talking about. But an internal impulse to create something or do something. And what if that impulse was that divine spark within you, nudging you, wanting to express itself through you? And how many times, beloveds, have you maybe dismissed it, gave it zero credence, or just went into arguing for your own limitation, like, oh, I could never do that. Oh, nobody would ever do that. These sacred impulses is life wanting to express itself through you. Sometimes I believe we get a little misguided and, well, nobody would want to pay attention. Who would want to listen to that? And it's like, well, what business is it of ours to even question what life wants to create through us? I've recently got very excited about a new class. It's just a little 2-hour thing. And it was based on a lot of things. And as I've sat with it, and we'll talk about it at the end, I think Reverend Charlene's going to make some comments about it. But I had a lot of my own dismissing of it. This idea just kept coming back, and it's like, no, it needs to be this. No, let's call it this. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know I don't know. It's kind of a triggery name. I don't know. And so I've argued with it, but the impulse continues to be steady, like a heartbeat. It's like, no, bring this to fruition, bring this to fruition. And every time I take one tiny little step towards bringing that to fruition, I can feel it expanding within me. It's not my concern who it reaches. I believe it has its own consciousness, its own attraction field, so to speak. And so when you have your own little idea that feels too big for you, I want you to ask yourself this question: who am I to stop spirit from expressing? And maybe, just maybe, you are the perfect right person to bring this idea forward. Of course you are, because it found you. The idea is inspired through you. I invite you to practice this mantra when it comes to remembering that the divine spark lives in you and that you have something important to say, or more accurately, Spirit has something important to say through you. I am meant to be here fully. Just say that. I am meant to be here fully. And just notice what happens. And what I experience in that is a little bit of a really like, I don't even know what that means to be here fully. Do any of us? And if we allowed ourselves that relationship with the divine, with the sacred, with that spark within us, if we invited it and gave it access to our heart, to our mind, and to our lives, imagine what we could create. We just need remember that that desire within you is a divine impulse. It is life wanting to express through you because you're the perfect vessel to bring that forward. Our second point is unity without uniformity. Oh my goodness, is this a perfect point for where we're at in the world? I was sharing with Charlene and Tamara before we went live that my heritage is actually Assyrian, which originated from the area of Persia, and that there is this difference in mindset of how Middle Eastern minds and how Western minds look and think differently. We are of the same spark. We all are. And every one of these different perspectives, oh, it is challenging, isn't it? It's tempting to land in that place of I'm right, they're wrong. And there might be cultural things we don't understand. There might be practices that we don't understand. Beginning to value how you, beloved, are different, that uniqueness that you bring to the unity of the all can then begin to soften internal judgments that are preventing you from expanding and being inclusive of others. And I'm not saying we are condoning violent behavior. I'm not saying we're condoning hurtful behavior. But again, when we bring our attention back to our own bodies, our own selves, our own minds, we get to start to be curious about what is it in my own imagination that I'm creating, and who is not in the room of my imagination. Where have I put up the walls and created separation and are seeing and othering others? It's pretty rooted in that survival mechanism. And when we trace things back and when we really look at the origins of different biases, the history speaks volumes. When I lived in Colorado, there's this interesting Colorado-Texas war, and I never understood it, but I bought into it, and I was just like, oh yeah, Texans, rah, rah, rah. And Texans would come to Colorado, and they're like, Coloradoans, rah, rah, rah. And understanding where that originated was because back in the gold rush days, this is what the history I saw is that there was some thievery happening. And so it created some tension. But again, that comes from that place of thinking that there's lack and there's limitation. And so the lack and limitation thought started internally and then it expressed externally. So where, beloved, are you potentially leaving people out, leaving others out? Where can you begin to maybe invite and grant access into your own mind for love to just be present? Maybe start there. Maybe you don't have to invite in others, but you could invite in love. And invite love in such a way where you're doing it with intention to dissolve those biases that are unconscious, and maybe some are conscious. And to sit in the energy of what would inclusion look like here? Because that's where we're beginning to align to that new world, to that world that works for everybody, into that frequency and vibration where the answer remains and is present in the question itself. What would inclusion look like here? The answer is there within the question. But if our attention's going to the separation, oh, us and them, and oh, look what they're doing, then we're putting ourselves back into that frequency of separation. And the solution is simple. Who's not in the room in my imagination? What would inclusion look like here? That immediately opens the consciousness for a new thought, a new possibility, and a whole new way. And inviting love and granting access to love to support you in that place. Our final point is the mind as outlet. If mind is an outlet for creative intelligence, our self-talk shapes the worlds we build. Our self-talk is shaping that. And this takes me right back to Neville Goddard. I am the sound. And if I am the sound and out here is the echo, what sound am I making? It's interesting that I was having a conversation with someone here in the community, and they were just sharing something that happened at some gathering. And there was a question, a topic that was brought up that was an extremely, high voltage, divisive conversation. And I wasn't there. And after my friend and I had the conversation, I got really angry. I'm like, why would they bring that up? And oh my gosh, and all of that. And so I had my initial rare about it, but my inner thoughts went to a different perspective. Is what's the purpose of that question, that topic? The purpose of that topic is to create division. And it was like this big aha, like, oh, it's not about a me and them. The topic itself has its own energy of division and separation. And so when we remember that what we think is creating this external world, then we can be more mindful about where our thoughts go. I like these questions. Did my thoughts today widen the circle or tighten it? What is the point of what I'm saying and speaking? Is it reducing harm? Is it increasing dignity? See, that's where we're getting back into what do I want to create in this world? If I want more respect, more kindness, more understanding, then I can just ask the question within myself. What would bring more kindness into this moment? What would create and bring more peace into this moment? And I don't have to figure that out because there's this beautiful divine presence within me that when I open up to it and invite it forward and I ask and give it access, what would love say in this moment? That's just putting me on the path in a very powerful, intentional way of what I want to create. There's a lot going on in the world. And moment by moment, day by day, we can ask ourselves, what do I want to contribute? And does it cause harm? Is it hurtful? Is it causing separation? What is it meant? What am I really intending here? I know the question from the community member bringing up the topic was a very unconscious place. And I don't have judgment about that. I just see it for what it is. Oh, that's just someone perpetuating, you know, the harmful, hurtful energies because they're not being intentional about what they're creating in this moment because they forgot. So many times we forget who and what we are. We are this powerful divine presence. We are an extension of it, as is every person on the planet. Now, that doesn't mean that they're acting from that place, that they're not aligned with that divine presence. And Reverend Charlene reminded me today, Dr. David Hawkins' work says that when just a few stay in those higher frequencies of peace, of love, of kindness, of inclusivity, it impacts and it ripples out to the masses far stronger than someone sitting in a lower frequency like fear or hate or shame. So this week, I want you to remember who you are. You are a spiritual being belonging to vast, intelligent love. You are an extension of it. And let love and truth be the author of your inner world. Desire rising up, let it nudge you and find one tiny little thing you can do to act on it, to bring it to fruition. Remember that unity does not demand sameness. It asks us to honor difference as part of the holy, sacred design, that we are all individual expressions of this one life, this one love. And remember, mind is our outlet for creative intelligence. So the climate we cultivate within becomes the pattern of our lives express. Just commit to these 3 very simple moves. Honor one little desire with one tiny step. Act on it. Align your actions with what is wanting to come through you. Practice widening your circle with an act of inclusion, even if it's within your own mind. And practice steadying your self-talk with affirmation, with positivity, with questions that are aligning you to a solution. What would love do? How would respect sound here? How would inclusion act in this moment? When we tend to our inner sanctuary, we create a sound that is of peace, of harmony, of all those beautiful God qualities, and they ripple out and they echo into the world. And then the world we inhabit becomes the mirror of the world that we're consciously creating. And so let's just strap in now to a prayer. Oh, how beautiful it is to come together, to remember these deeper truths of who we are, what we are, extensions of one life, of one love. of one mind, that there is and will never be a separation, that there has never been. There is no and never will be separation from that divine creative force because it lives within us and we live within it. There is no place on this planet that spirit is not. And so we can, for a moment, turn our attention to the creative force that lives within us. And we remember these deeper truths of no separation, that the divine blueprint of health and well-being lives within each and every one of us. I know and affirm that, and that it is expanding and rippling out as inspiration to align to actions that bring more health within us individually and as a planet. I know and affirm that in the midst of conflict, that right there, in the midst of the darkness, is the light. And I choose in this moment to remember to affirm the light, the presence of love is everywhere, that peace is spreading with every breath, that tensions are soothed and calm, that bridges are built to remember our unity, not our uniformity. I know and affirm that love is the unifying presence that we are. That with every breath I take today, that I breathe that remembering of love. I know and I affirm that as beacons of light that we each are, that we hold these truths, that we remember these principles, that as we remember the creative force we are, that it ripples out. It touches everything and everyone, and it brings us closer to that place of peace, unity, equanimity, equality, health and abundance for all. I release these words knowing they're already in full action. Already the world is reshaping itself to align itself. Through the power of my word, I release this knowing it's done, it is done, it is done, and so it is.
I get to become who I choose to be. I get to become who I choose to be. I get to become who I choose to be. Who I choose to be. I get to become who I choose to be. Who I choose to be. And if you like extra credit, if you're an overachiever, here's some body percussion. Boom, da, boom.
All right, it's never good when it ends. When Leah ends, you're always like, no, 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 no. I want more, I want more, I want more. Oh my goodness. And thank you so much, Reverend Melinda. I think I filled up 3 pages in my journal. So much inspiration, so much divine guidance and wisdom. Thank you so much for joining us today. All right. While I'm saying thank you, another thank you goes out to all of you, everyone who contributes to CSL and makes this possible, what we do each Sunday through the classes, the workshop, the music, our guest speakers. We do this all because you contribute. And odds are, if you're a regular, you already found a way to give. If you are new to us, there are some things on the screen that you can see now, and you can always go to our website and look for that little donate button. We tithe to our home organization. We also tithe to organizations that share our vision of helping to create a world that works for everyone. And like I said, we also do what we do on Sunday mornings. We thank you so much for your generosity, for your generous support. We can't do it without you. We are united. We are one. All right. With that, let's do the blessings of the gifts. Here we go. Read the words and say it with me. The presence of Spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. And to the day in which I create, right? All right, let's see what we have for announcements. I'm thinking off the top of my head. Can I predict anything?
Do you want me to go ahead and
Please,
help out?
would you?
Okay, because I'm not sure if you could see these when I put them up.
I can see it.
All right, so Reverend Melinda did say that she had a way of helping us work through what it is we might be going through in this crazy time. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes we get messages, no. Power versus force, be high, be in love, be in compassion. But does that mean ignore your rage? Well, so Reverend Melinda decided that she was going to help us through this kind of thing. So next Saturday, well, not next Saturday, but Saturday, March 21st, at 1 p.m. our time, Eastern time, if that's where you are listening to me right now, join Reverend Melinda in the 2-hour masterclass where we get to hold space for the part of us that's not all cheery and sunshine and unicorns, all right? She's going to help us through it. Now, I don't know about you, but I would love a guide going through here because my reluctance comes from, well, maybe I'm going to pitch a tent in that area of rage. I don't know if I'm going to find myself out. Like, it might feel good, and I might be now the angry girl. So I tend toward not. So maybe Reverend Melinda will give us you maybe need a guide through these strange lands called anger and rage, and to make sure you do make it out on the other side, because that's not the only thing you're made of. It's there, but it's not all of it. So I can't wait, Reverend Melinda. I hope I did you justice on that. Let me know if there's anything. Good. And then, okay, I made us a little QR code because I can't help myself. So go ahead and click the QR code. However, those of you who are in the chat, of course, I'll have Reverend Melinda go ahead and paste that link for registration into the chat. And you know that when you take a workshop with her, that there's an agreement about she also puts a percentage back into our center. So any workshop that we hold also supports our center, but mostly supports the person holding the workshop, let's be clear. Now, while I have your attention, I just want to ask you to continue to expand your use of AI and apps in your life. The first is, please go right now to open at the top. Find a good journal prompt. If you're not like Tamara, who already has filled up 3 pages, perhaps you need to be prompted. We'll go ahead and take that little QR code and it'll take you to our page. Open at the top. Find this week. You should land on this week because that's how I coded it. Click the button, Get Prompt. It will give you a prompt, and then go ahead and journal. And you can even journal in the app and it'll remember, and because some of us don't have a pen or a journal to write in. While I have your attention, I'm going to keep using it because listen, we have apps. Affirmation Flow. Go ahead to your app store, grab it from the Apple Store. It's called Daily Affirmation Flow by CSL Leesburg. It's also on Google Play. It's called Affirmation Flow. It doesn't stop there. We are now curating a lot of ancient wisdom books, and we're putting them in our library. I'm going to get some Neville Goddard for Melinda. But right now, the most recent book is Tao Te Ching. Go ahead and click on the QR code here. It'll take you to our apps page, which if you scroll down, you'll see the Ancient Wisdom bookshelf. And more are coming. You'll have one every week, a new one every week, so you'll never get bored. Now, the final thing we talked about last week at the end in Pearls, so if you didn't come to Pearls, you missed it. We have a new chatbot that would love to do a spiritual mind treatment for you. It would love to talk you off the ledge in terms of anything you might be considering that is not for your highest good. It is compassionate. It is loving, and it is trained on Ernest Holmes's very own teachings. You might see a sprinkle of Charlene, but it's mostly Ernest. So please go ahead to that app, Our Apps, CSL Leesburg, Our Apps, and then in that little drop down, you will see chat about it. And it's an app that lets you ask a question. All right, Tamara, my dear, I've already taken up too much of your time. Back to you, hon.
No, you did a great job. This is what we do. We do this in tandem. Sometimes you lead, sometimes I lead, sometimes I think we do it together. This is what it's all about. All right, folks. Like Reverend Charlene said, please, please, please stay if you can for Pearls. This is when we do our virtual coffee hour and we talk about what really resonated with you in the meditation, in the message. Do you feel like I do? Like when Leah sings, you just feel like, oh my gosh, that was one potato chip. I need more, I need more, I need more. So whatever you want to talk about, that's what we do. We just hang out because we love the company and we love the inspiration that we get from each other. We are our own community. We are a tribe. We are one. So if you can, please stay. If you have some things to do, we understand, but let's do our closing affirmation. So put your hands on your heart. And before we do this, just take a deep breath and really feel these words as you say them. And I'm looking at the screen. I can see if your mics are muted. And I invite you to turn them off because I love to hear you. And I don't know if you noticed, little Boo, my kitten, was coming and joining me. So I love to hear your voices. Here we go. Thank you. Here we go. You ready? I am love.
I
am love.
Oh my goodness, I feel that. That's beautiful. It all begins with self-love. Now, like Reverend Melinda was saying, unity is not conformity. We know that we are all connected. So send this message out to anyone who needs it. It could be somebody in the room with you, a friend, a family, a furry companion, or we believe this with our whole hearts. We know this is the truth. You can send this out anywhere into our nation, our country, anywhere around the globe. Send this out to someone who you think needs to hear this message. Here we go. You are love.
You are love.
Ah, beautiful. And now put your hands up in the air. Let's do our It's All Love sprinkles. You ready? It's all
Love.
It is all love. Oh, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to join us. If you can, please stay. We'd love to chat with you. And if not, know that we send you off with our love and our blessings. Have a peace-filled week. And we'll see you next